While it's a beautiful, amazing, super fun experience, it is so overwhelming. Wait, but I don't like it. But should I like it? Like, is this the one? It like actually pains me to talk about this. Like, I still lay in bed at night thinking about it, and it really sucks. What's up, guys? My name is Lauren. Welcome to my channel. I always feel so silly saying that. I post lifestyle content, vlogs, wedding content, house content, you name it. And today we are going to be discussing something that I wish that I did proper research before I did. And it's the first thing I want to dive into in terms of wedding content. Today we're going to be discussing what you should know and what you should expect when you're wedding dress shopping. I have a list of tips along with a horror story. Very stressful wedding dress story that I want to share with you guys so that you don't make the same mistake. So if you are in the market for a wedding dress, or if you just, you want to learn about wedding dress shopping, this is the right video for you. Okay, we're gonna jump right into it. The first one being your dress that you pick out and the one that you are at the bridal shop and it's like all clipped up to fit you is going to look very different from the dress that actually is like your size. So the sample dress that's all clipped is gonna look way different than the one you actually wear on your wedding day. And you're thinking, well, yeah, duh, it's actually gonna fit me and it's not gonna have massive clips. Okay, what I'm saying is like the actual structure of it may be different. So for the record, I love my wedding dress and this is not me like hating on it. I would buy it again and I'm obsessed with it still, but I was a little bit like surprised when I finally picked it up from my final alterations and I was like, whoa, okay, this isn't the same vibe that it was when I was like trying it on. For instance, when I tried on my dress, it felt like when it was all clipped up, it felt like it just like hit in the right places, which sounds weird because it's all clipped up all funny, right? Like it's like yanking and like pulling. But when I had it on, I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna fit. It's gonna be really tight up here and then it's gonna be a little looser here. So I had this vision in my head that like my dress would be pretty much like straight across and have like very little like under boob or very little like, what is this side part right here? I don't know how to describe it, but I thought there was gonna be like no side boobage. I don't know, because when I tried it on, it like went all the way across. And I thought it was gonna be like tight and slimming and then maybe like a little bit slimmer. Well, then when I actually like ordered my right size and then had it altered, it looked a lot different. It like came in a little bit more and it fit like how it should. It was how the dress actually is. But when I tried it on in the sample room and it's all like, squeezed up to fit you right and it just looks different. I feel like I'm like repeating myself. I don't know if I'm making sense, but just my thing is I wish I went into that day and saying yes, this dress, knowing, okay, Lauren, just know it's gonna look a little bit different when it's finally on. It's not gonna be like the same whatever, like there's gonna be different parts to it. And for me, that was a little bit like, oh, okay, so it is not all the way across, or oh, okay, it is a little looser over here. Just know when it like actually fits you in all the right places, it's gonna look a little bit different. I actually loved my dress and it fit me right. It did feel like a different dress. So that's definitely something that you should know. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know why I was like struggling to talk through that one. Okay, I have a list, but I want to talk about like the most important ones. Okay, this was something I didn't expect at all. Okay, so I went to a&be at the one in Minneapolis, which, oh my god, I love a&be. They have such a great variety of dresses. Their stylists are amazing. Like seriously, when I left, I was like, okay, I kind of want to be a bridal dress stylist because they just inspired me so much. I loved them. But I didn't know that you tip them. So like at the final, like we're like paying the bill, there was like a tip thing. And I'm like, oh, I just never knew that bridal stylists, and I get it, like they're doing a service, they're like helping you out, but I had no idea. So just know that like some places do have tips. And I'm not to say that you have to tip, that you should or shouldn't. That's not what I'm saying. I was so surprised. I just did not know that that was a thing. And so that is an extra couple $100s if you do tip. That is gonna be added to that final bill. So just know that. I don't know, I had no idea. So take what you want with that information. The next one is look at fails elsewhere, okay? Because at the end of the day, they are stylists and they love you and they care about you, blah, 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 but they do want to sell you stuff, okay? So when I was trying on my dress, I said yes. It was like a moment we were all kind of tearing up. We had some champagne. She was like showing me veils that would look good with the dress, and I appreciated that. I loved that. One of the veils she gave me was a $700 veil. I'm like, babe, we just dropped a lot of cash on the dress. Let's reel it back. But like it makes sense because they'll tell you like you should order the veil now with your dress. They're back ordered, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh my god. I'm glad I stood my ground and said no because I am such a people pleaser. I just like really wanted to say yes and get the veil that she was giving me at that moment. But I knew in my heart, I'm like, I feel like I could find a different veil. So I actually went online and found Tailored Tool. I saw her on TikTok. Like she will make you kind of like a custom veil. So there's options. I chose the cathedral length pearl veil, and then I added at the bottom, I added a little like custom embroidery, and it said all's well that ends well to end up with you. my husband and I love Taylor Swift, so it just like made sense. It was a cute little custom thing at the end. And so I got a cathedral veil with the customization, and I actually had to add the rush order because knowing me, I literally waited like 2 months before the wedding, and I just wanted to make sure I had it. Especially because I was doing a destination wedding, and I just like wanted everything packed. So yeah, I had to do like a rush order. I'm an idiot. But anyways, with all that, it was like literally a fourth of the cost of what that veil at the wedding shop was. So just know that you do not have to buy your veil on the spot there, okay? You do feel this like pressure, like, oh my god, I need to buy everything and wrap up this purchase and get it done now. You don't have to, okay? Actually, I would like encourage you to shop around for veils because in my opinion, to each their own, but I really don't think you need to be spending that much money on a veil. My next one is minimize the amount of people that you bring with you wedding dress shopping. I know that it's like one of those like life experiences and you want like your best friends, your grandma, your mom, your sister-in-law, your cousins to really try to minimize that, especially if you're like me and you are a people pleaser. You get easily overwhelmed. You take in everybody's opinion. You start changing your own point of views. Literally minimize the people. I just brought my twin sister, my mom, and my grandma, and it was perfect. Minimize the amount of people because you guys, it is so overwhelming. Oh my god, it's such a great experience, but it is so out of body at the same time. Like I had a massive headache like the entire time because like it's so overwhelming. Mind you, you're like butt naked in front of the lady who's like helping you with the dresses. But anyways, I'm like naked with this person. She's like helping me put on the dress. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like squeezing. And while it's a beautiful, amazing, super fun experience, it is so overwhelming. Everyone's opinions are hard to take in. You value everyone's opinions, but it's hard to take it in, especially if there's a dress like you love and everyone's like, oh, I don't know, because then you kind of like, I don't know, it kind of changes the vibe. You're like, wait, do I love it? Or if there's a dress that you're like, no, this isn't for me, and everyone's like, wait, you look amazing, you look perfect. It's like, wait, but I don't like it, but should I like it? Like, is this the one? It's so freaking stressful. So minimize the amount of people. So when I went wedding dress shopping, I went to 2 different places in one day. I think it was 1 hour appointments for each. And when I was making the appointment, I'm like, oh my god, is an hour enough? Yeah, it's enough. An hour is, honestly, it's enough. And I just had my mom, my grandma, and my sister there, and I left that day. I narrowed down to 2 that I absolutely loved, but I let myself sit on it. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I also want to make sure my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law could be here, and so I was like, I'm gonna just sit on it for a week or 2. So then the next appointment was just my mom, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and it was nice for that because it was just narrowed down to 2, so it wasn't as overwhelming as like trying on a million dresses. It was a super fun, emotional, like great experience, but I knew it was the right dress because all of a sudden my grandma's sitting on the couch. I just see tears streaming down her face. Oh my god, I could cry talking about it. I saw my grandma like started to tear up, and I was just like, okay, that like it's so different when there's just no words said and everyone's just kind of tearing up, and it's just a really, really fun experience. So all of a sudden you say yes, and then it's like, okay, back to business. They're giving you paperwork, they're signing this, signing that. Like, yeah, they give you a little thing of champagne, but it's like, okay, initial all these, sign here. They bring you in the like fitting room and have 2 people in there, and they are sizing you up and confirming sizes. She will say like, I'm like literally making up a measurement right now because I have no idea, but she'll be like, waist 30 inches. Other person will confirm 30 inches. It is like a super like intense process where they are like reading it back to you and like confirming, and then you are initialing everything. So all of a sudden it's like you're having an emotional experience. Yes, I love the dress. This is the dress I'm gonna walk down the aisle to, and then it's like boom, back to paperwork. So I was a little bit surprised. I was like, whoa, let's get back to the champagne, please. So just know that it's like, okay, paperwork begins right away. Oh my god, okay, this next one. Alterations are so expensive. I guess a little bit of a disappointment about the process of wedding dress shopping is just the sizing and alterations. So my dress, I actually ordered like 2 different sizes of the dress. So up top it was a 4, and to the bottom it was an 8. In theory, that should be more of like, okay, this is gonna fit you right, and yeah, you will have to do some alterations, but it should be very, very close to your size. So then come alterations. I'm bringing it to the alteration spot that the bridal shop had recommended. All of a sudden she's like sizing me up for stuff. You guys, I'm gonna give you the price to be transparent. All of a sudden I'm spending $1,000 on alterations. $1,000. I'm like, excuse me, what? I was sick. Me and my mom looked at each other, and maybe some of you watching this are like, yeah, duh. But I had no idea, hence why I should watch YouTube videos and figure it out. My mom and I looked at each other. I was like, oh my god, mom, I'm sick to my stomach. Yeah, so alterations are super expensive. With that, I'm gonna jump into my horror story, okay? It like actually pains me to talk about this. Like, I still lay in bed at night thinking about it, and it really sucks. And it's such a first world problem. I really need to check myself. myself when I'm saying like, oh, this sucks, but like it did. So I brought my dress to get altered. We had to take in the straps up top and take in the bottom, okay? So in my head, I'm like, she needs to measure the straps first, get those all pinned, ready to go, and then figure out what to take off at the bottom. Because if she does the bottom and then the straps, it's gonna be too short. I like said it 5 times. I was like, you're gonna do the straps first, right? And then the hem of the bottom. She's like, yeah. She didn't. And when I tried on my dress for my final fitting, my dress was way too short. Literally, my feet were completely uncovered. Oh, and mind you, I had bought shoes already, okay? So I had my shoes ready and prepared for my first alteration appointment. So I wore those for every appointment. Every time I had it on, my shoes were on. So like, she should have been measuring my dress with my like shoe height. So I finally put my final dress on with my shoes on. It's too, like my feet, you guys, it's literally like up to like mid-foot, okay? And I looked in the mirror, I'm like, again, this is me being a people pleaser. I wish I stood my ground and was like, this is unacceptable. But I was like, this looks a little short. And she's like, no, this is fine. And I'm like, no, look, my dress is too, like my feet are hanging out. And she's like, take it off and I'm gonna steam it. I bet it just like has some wrinkles that needs to be steamed out. So I was like, okay. So I like took off my dress and she like went and was like rapidly steaming it and like brings it back to me and I tried it on. I'm like, that maybe helped like a half of like a millimeter. Like it made no impact. And I was like, this dress is way too short. I don't know what happened, but this, and I looked at her in the eyes, I was like, this dress is too short. And she's like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, is there any way to fix this? And she's like, no. Oh, like it literally makes me sick to talk about because I'm spending $1,000, spent all the money on shoes, the dress, and to have it like, not, it sounds privileged, but like it was ruined. Like it literally, like it was not, yeah. My solution was just to have flats, like wearing flats to my wedding, which ended up being totally fine. And the world works like most strange ways because I actually loved my wedding shoes and I spent the whole day and didn't worry at all about my back being sore, my feet hurting. I was able to walk everywhere, dance, and no problem at all. And I will admit, like, I have a short king husband, so like it was totally fine. Like honestly, my heels that I bought for the wedding were only like 1-inch heels anyways. They're these. Okay, I forget the name. Yeah, so I couldn't wear them on my wedding day. I wore these these flats from Lulu's, which the picture makes them look like kind of like plasticky and ugly, but they were super, super cute. And I ended up loving them and they were perfect. And I liked this square toe because it kind of matches this square neckline. But yeah, more of the story is my dress, like you guys, she messed up the alterations. So then I was like sick to my stomach about it because I was like, I paid $1,000. Like I paid money even though she like made a massive mistake. Like that's like, dude, that's a bad mistake. So then I'm like paying $1,000 and in my head I'm thinking, why isn't she saying like, okay, I'm gonna give you a discount? So then I slept on it and the next morning I called the alterations place and I was like, hey, my name's Lauren. I was just in there yesterday to pick up my dress and I just paid for my alterations. I'm looking at my bill right now and I'm wondering if I could get, they provided like an itemized receipt of the bill. So it was like $250 for the alterations at the bottom, $150 for like the strap, XYZ, right? So I knew how much the hemming of the bottom of the dress cost. So I called and I'm like, I'm wondering if I could get a refund for the $250 at the bottom of the dress because, and I told the whole story. So I'm like, you know what, I feel really bad. She did a great job. No, the whole dress was all whack. The whole dress was messed up. But I was like, she did a great job, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to get a refund for the $250 because it was messed up. And I'm hoping you can also refund me $150 for the shoes that I bought, my dress that I can't wear anymore because the dress is too short. And the lady on the phone was so rude. She's like, I don't know. Okay, she's like, we don't really do this. And I'm like, okay, is there someone I can talk to about it? And she's like, let me call my manager and call you back. I'm like, okay, sounds great. She calls me back and she's like, we can do the $250, but we're not gonna buy you new shoes. I'm like, no, I'm not asking you to like buy me new shoes. I'm just wondering if I can get an extra $150 refunded because I followed your instructions on the website and I wore my shoes that I'm gonna wear to the wedding to all my fittings. And she's like, yeah, we're not gonna buy you shoes. I'm like, so we're going back and forth. I'm like, no, again, I'm not asking you to buy me shoes. I'm just asking to refund me the shoes that I bought that I can no longer return because it's past the 30-day policy and I can't wear them. And she's like, well, I'll have to call my manager again. She calls me back and she's like, yeah, so like we just can't get you new shoes. At this point, I'm like, oh my God, you are not, what? I'm like, okay, just forget it. I'm like, okay, yep, the $250 is fine. They ended up just sending me a check for $250 in the mail. Yeah, the whole thing is really freaking upsetting. And to someone, they're probably like, oh my God, that is not a big deal. First world problem. Like, this is dramatic. And it is. Like, it is a very like privileged, ridiculous thing to like cry about, but it was really upsetting. It really was. Okay, so that's my horror stories. Alterations are super expensive. Go in there and don't be a people pleaser. Like, tell them what you need, tell them what you want. And, oh, I will say though, she did an amazing job at my bustle. My bustle was so good, and it had like hidden threads so that like it wasn't showing, and then like you could pull the thread and then button it. It was like perfect, super easy. So she did a really good job with probably the most like complicated part. Okay, moving on. Oh my god, this is such a fun one. Okay, my next one is try on things you don't think that you're gonna wear. I was convinced, you guys, that I was gonna wear an off-the-shoulder dress. That was just what I had in my mind. I thought it was gonna be like off the shoulder, like what are those when you have like this off the sleeve things, like off the shoulder but like little sleeve cuffs. And I tried on a bunch of those, and every time I would like lift my arms, I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Like I want to be able to dance, I want to be able to like whatever, and I can't. I'm like this. So I knew, I'm like, that maybe isn't right for me. So I'm trying on these dresses that I think I see myself in. Then she brings me over a dress and she hangs it up and puts it on the thing, and I look at it and I go, oh, I don't think I like that one. She goes, have you tried it on? Like looks at me in the eyes, have you tried it on? And I go, no. She goes, then try it on. You guys, that was the dress I ended up picking. And I'm just like so thankful that my stylist like read the room. She was like seeing like what I was liking, what I was not liking, like parts of my body where I felt insecure, parts of my body that I liked, and she found me my dress. And I'm so appreciative of it, and I'm so glad that I actually tried it on. Like you just never know. And so try on things that you don't think you're gonna wear, take their advice, and just try it on. Have fun with it. Okay, I thought it was gonna be a strapless and I tried on something different. Once you buy your dress, even if you freaking love it, you're like, yes, this is the one, you will have buyer's remorse. Like you will be like, wait, should I have gotten that other one? It's just inevitable. Like everybody I feel like has experienced that. Don't let yourself overthink your wedding dress. You chose it for a reason. You and whoever was with you got emotional over it. You had that experience of like, yes, this is my dress. This is what I'm gonna walk down the aisle to and marry the person of my dreams. There's a reason for that. Don't let yourself doubt that at all, okay? Because I would lay in bed at night and be like, oh my god, should I have chosen Poppy? Poppy was the other dress that I was going back and forth on. Natalie is the dress that I love, and that's the one I see myself walking the aisle in. So it is inevitable. You will have buyer's remorse. It's a huge expense, and it's like a one-time thing, right? Like your wedding dress, holy crap. And if you're having these thoughts of like, oh my god, is this the right one? Go on Pinterest, look up the name of your dress and see other brides in it and see how they styled it, and remember like this is the dress that I got and I love it. I'm so excited. It's very, very normal to have buyer's remorse, and it's very normal to like see other dresses and be like, oh my god, should I have gotten that? No. There's a reason that you got it. So remember that. And also just like don't compare yourself to other dresses. Like, you know, it's so hard to be on Wedding Talk and YouTube and see what other people's dresses are. And they have these grand, gorgeous dresses. Not that yours like isn't. Like, oh my gosh, that dress is so much prettier than mine. Stop it. Don't do that to yourself. Seriously, Wedding Talk is actually a little bit overwhelming. Get yourself off it because the comparison game is really unhealthy and it's bad. Like I got in a really bad rabbit hole about it, and I'm like, Lauren, stop it. Knock it off. Like everybody's different. Everyone has different budgets. Everyone has different wedding styles. Stay in your lane, stay in your vision, know what you want, and you're gonna look freaking amazing in it. I know you will. Okay, give yourself plenty of time for your wedding dress. So my process was super quick actually, because I got engaged July 2022, and then that month, like 2 weeks later, my sister was getting married. Yeah, I got engaged, blah, 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 but all the attention was like back on Madison, like let's get this wedding going. We're super excited for her. It's her time, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks after her wedding, she was moving back to Germany because her husband's hockey season was starting. So I wanted my sister there when I went wedding dress shopping. So like literally right after her wedding, we went wedding dress shopping for me, and I ended up choosing my dress like beginning of August. Said yes to the dress in the beginning of August, like first or second week. My wedding dress wasn't ready until end of March. Okay, so that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, like give or take 8 months. So they tell you that. They're like, okay, your wedding dress will probably be ready in March or April, blah, blah. Then I made my alteration appointment ahead of time as well to have it ready for April. So give yourself plenty of time. Like that is a crazy long time. So enjoy your engagement, chill, do your thing, but also like get on your wedding dress shopping, okay? Because those dresses take a long time, especially if you are doing like the dual sizing and you don't want to be scrambling like a month before your wedding. Okay, so those are all my tips and what you should expect when you're wedding dress shopping. I really hope this video was helpful for you. I am so excited for you and your wedding dress journey. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts, any questions you may have. This is such an exciting time, so enjoy it, have fun, but also keep in mind some of these tips and look out for yourself, okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.